If you want a good laugh, go check out the comment section. In yesterday's video, we dropped our first lineup update, and it's an all-diamond squad. Go check it out if you missed it. But I mentioned in that video I haven't spent any money, I haven't purchased any stubs, and I built that team on a no money spent budget. A lot of people called me a liar. A lot of people said it was bullshit. Go check your completed orders page if you don't believe me. If you are not close to 771 pages like myself, then my friend, you're missing out. You're falling in the game. You haven't been paying attention to the videos that I've been dropping all season. I mean, look what's on your screen right now. We made a crazy profit investing in Edwin Encarnacion. And I dropped so many tips throughout the year, man. I don't understand why people would think I need to lie about this. Listen, I don't make videos to get subs. I don't make them for views. I make them to help you. I make them to entertain you. Next time you want to call me a liar, check yourself. Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today for another MLB 17 The Show Diamond Dynasty video. My apologies for the late update. We're back here for another edition of Risers and Fallers. I made this video once, and the files went corrupt. I feel like that happens to me like once every 2 weeks or so, and I have to redo videos. It's a pain, but I'm doing it for you guys here. We're going to jump right on into the content because I believe that this is the best and biggest update that we've received all year. Now, if you remember last week, it was pretty terrible. I mean, we all hated it. It was very lackluster. It was, in the words of Peter Griffin, shallow and pedantic. But this week, they did a very, very good job. Now, I'm going to kind of freestyle this one. Normally, I read down the list on daddyleagues.com, but there's so many people to go over. I'm just going to go through this list and pretty much give you my feelings on some of the moves that happen. We'll go over some of the new content as well, because there's a lot of new content in the game aside from people going, up and down with the ratings. So, Jeff Hoffman, I do want to point him out. You guys know by now I'm a huge Rocky fan, so when I tell you things about Rocky's players, I watch pretty much every single game. I've probably missed 3 games this season, so I watch them a lot, and I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this team. Trust me, listen to me. Jeff Hoffman has been fantastic. Key piece trade from the Tulo trade, and he didn't make the 5-man rotation, but he's gotten called up. John Gray's been injured. Tyler Chatwood's been injured. Tyler Anderson's been injured. So he's gotten some starts. 3-0, 2.61 ERA. He's been fantastic. He's been striking people out. +8, 73 overall. I got him for like 11 stubs. I got about 10 of these. You might want to pick him up. You never know. He could continue this, and he could end up being a silver or a gold maybe. Let's continue to go through the updates. Like I said, tons and tons and tons. So we drop our weekly roster prediction videos, and if you haven't been paying attention to those, it's another reason why you might be losing out on making stubs, and it's probably another reason why some of you didn't believe me in yesterday's video. Ryan Zimmerman is one we hit on. I knew he'd be getting another upgrade. He goes +4. He's well deserving of being a gold card, and he is just that now. So he's selling for like 1,000 stubs. +4, 82 to 86. Tons of guys going silver to gold this week. Justin Smoke went +4. Watch out for him. Josh Donaldson thinks that he could be an all-star player. I don't believe that, but you know what? He's having a pretty good season. Keep an eye on him. Mike Moustakas, +4 to an 84. Having a pretty good season, I think. I mean, I look at his stats, and they're not great. He's got some good power numbers. He's driving runs home. Not a great average, but he's one away from gold. Scooter Gennett, I mean, he hit 4 home runs in 1 game. They almost had to give him an upgrade, right? 80 overall there for Scooter Gennett. A couple guys from the Marlins who I somewhat invested in, and they're still really cheap, so it's not too late. JT Realmuto and Justin Bour. Justin Bour's been crushing home runs. He hits moonshots. He's also got, I think, a diamond card out, or a gold. He got a new May League Leaders card, or whatever they want to call it. So he's got 2 cards in the game. Whoops. So these 2 guys, I mean, they're, the Marlins don't have a good record, but they got a lot of good players. I mean, these 2 guys, Marcell Ozuna, Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton's playing pretty well. I think he's going to end up getting traded by the trade deadline, but that's another story. So check those guys out. Zach Kosar, I think he's going to finish gold. It's not too late to invest in him. He goes +3 to an 83. Go get Zach Kosar, man. He's hitting great average. The Reds are a bit of a surprising team. They're playing all right. Anthony Rendon, Another silver to gold here, guys, +3, 84 to an 87. He's selling for a little over 1,000 stubs, so if you invested in him, you might be able to make some profit. He was usually selling for like 500 to 600 stubs, so it's a nice little upgrade there. He's a pretty good player, man. He had an outstanding game where he went like 6 for 6, 3 home runs. I thought he'd get an upgrade then. He did not, but he continued that pace, slow and steady. 281 average, 10 home runs, 33 runs batted in. You got to look for those teams that have winning records, man. I tried to tell you guys a couple weeks ago about teams like the Astros and the Rockies and the Nationals. Those teams are winning games, so naturally they have good players on their team, so naturally those players are probably going to get upgraded. Keep an eye out on that. Zach Greinke. I didn't think he'd go diamond this week, but he did. I was a bit surprised, but he deserves it, don't get me wrong. And I think it's mainly because he's striking a lot of people out. His ERA isn't the greatest, but when you make the baseball, miss the bat, it's going to give you some boost in that K/9 rating, which is going to definitely help out overall. So he goes +2 to a 91. Chris Davinsky, here's that run of Astro players. George Springer, +2, 84 to an 86. Carlos Correa, +2 to an 89. I think Correa should be diamond, and I think Corey Seager should be a gold. I don't think Corey Seager deserves to be a diamond right now. He's not really doing what he did last season, and I think that they need to downgrade him. Maybe next week we'll see that happen. Now let's all have a round of applause for San Diego Studios and whoever creates the ratings at this game for finally giving Dallas Keuchel his diamond card. He's deserved it about 18 weeks ago. I'm exaggerating, but really though, I'm happy that he finally got it. Of course, he's on the DL now, so that's upsetting for Astro fans, I guess. But 9-0 record, 1.67 ERA. He is just beasting out. Again, look at all these Astro players: Chris Davinsky, George Springer, Keuchel, Correa, Will Harris down here. A bunch of guys went from silver to gold. Go check out the Astros cards. Might be too late on them, but I'm telling you, man, you better go invest in some Rockies players because they are winning games. And like I said earlier, when teams win games, that means they have good players, and good players who started out the season bad get upgrades. Corey Dickerson, +1 to an 83. I think he should be an 84, 85, maybe 86. Aaron Judge, no upgrade. Michael Conforto, no upgrade. Neither of them got any league leaders cards this month. I didn't expect Judge to because he got one last month, but disappointing there with those silver cards. I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting for those guys to get upgrades, and they're not. Josh Harrison, +1. Carlos Martinez, not a pretty ERA. I'm sorry, not a pretty win-loss record, but he strikes a lot of people out, and that will help you get some boost. Wilton Contreras gets a +1 to a 79. I think that's really going to do it. Two guys that I do want to mention, though, that went backwards, and they might make the Cubs set a little bit cheaper to complete, and that's John Lester and Jake Arrieta. Both go from diamond to gold, and then we have Keuchel and Greinke go from gold to diamond, so they kind of just swap places. They traded places, and I think those guys that went diamond are deserving, and honestly, I think the guys that went backwards, let's be honest, man, the Cubs, the world champs, they're not playing that great. Arrieta's not doing that good. Lester's not doing that great. Those guys, they don't deserve diamond status right now, and I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out, because which once was a crazy expensive set in the Cubs could continue. These guys could get downgraded and that set could become a lot less expensive. So I'm not going to jump into all the new content other than just point it out. We got a 94 overall Carlos Correa card, a bunch of other, Alex Wood's got a diamond, Lance McCullers got a diamond, Justin Boras got a diamond, then we got a couple gold cards. We got a brand new Impact Veteran program. Hanley Ramirez looks like a lot of fun to do. Not really. It looks like it's going to be a bit tough. But that program is the reason why I was able to make so many stubs off of Edward Encarnacion, because he was part of one of the missions on there where you got to collect like 25 batters who can do handstands on their pinkies or something. I don't remember. We got new stubs, new ticket stores cards here. I'm going to look at these. I'm happy. This is definitely a good way to build my bullpen here. Haven't really looked at the stats, but I'm sure the Papelbon and Feliz are pretty good with good velocity. So we'll take a look at those as well and maybe add them to the squad. Tons and tons of new content. Enjoy your weekend. Go make some stubs, go buy some cards for cheap and sell them next week when they're more expensive. That is the key to building a good team and building up that stub count. Peace!